Ta-da! This is it. This is my secret. I'm about to tell you why a stack of index cards and a binder clip is at least 8 times more useful than your traditional fake leather-bound journal, and why this vision journal cannot fail. First of all, they're cheap and discreet. If you're carrying around a journal with you with all your hopes and dreams, there's a big chance somebody's going to ask you about it. And you might not actually want it to happen. Instead, you can just put them in this guy and hide it away whenever somebody knows he's around. So you never have to deal with people judging your goals. Along with the fact that it's discreet, it's also highly portable. So no matter the size of your bag, you can take them on a trip wherever you're going. And you never have to spend a day not thinking about what you're trying to do with your life. In addition, if we treat this as a living, breathing organism, it is adaptable to any point in your life. Let's say these are my core values, and they're going to be forever in here. The next section might be related to my yearly theme, and I'm going to replace them probably next year. In my experience, goals are forever evolving, but my core values stay pretty much the same throughout. So in this way, I don't have to recreate everything. I just evolve it to fit my current situation. And I never have to worry about starting or finishing a journal. I just reuse what I need and replace what I don't. But the one thing that makes this a no-fail system for me is that I don't have to write. If I have a journal in front of me that prompts me every day to write, it starts to feel like a chore, and it's impossible for me to build a habit around something forced. This centers my focus. It keeps me in the now. I read the card and I move on. And as you do these day by day and repeat it, it gets kind of burned to your brain. Because they do remind me a whole lot about multiplication flashcards from school. And I hated them. But the system works. And it works because of repetition. I'm sure you're wondering what is on these cards. So I'm gonna flip through them. I might not share all of them because some of this is private, which is why I don't carry around the journal with me at all times. But I'll show you what I've got. The first one says, how do you feel? This is just a simple reminder to take account of where I am emotionally right now. And then we get into the reminders, so to speak. Someone is always looking up to you. This is something that I've learned over the years. No matter how I feel about myself, there's always somebody out there who admires what I do, what I have done, where I am. I used to be struggling and be broke in New York, but people admired me just for being in New York. You have achieved so much before. You can do it again, and you can do it better. It is so easy to think about all the things that happened recently, how we failed on this one task, how we forgot to reply to somebody. But in the big scheme of things, we all have achieved things before. And in a very similar vein, it is always easier the second time around. I have to remind myself of that constantly, especially when it comes to filming and editing, because, I don't know, maybe I forgot to plug in the microphone, or the first take wasn't good, or I deleted something by accident. Doing it the second time around is usually a lot easier than you think. And then something, I borrow a lot of things recently from startups and coding language. And one of those things is build in public, plus asking myself why I'm building in public. Because this is so powerful for creatives, because there's this stereotype of you retreating to the mountaintop, to your cave, to your little French apartment in the attic with no heat, and years later you come out with your finished masterpiece. But this story is so broken and most of the time not true, because nobody gives a crap. Whatever you're working on can be a masterpiece, but it can equally be nothing, and nobody can care about it. And if you show what you're working on, people are going to respond to it, and you're going to know, is this something that resonates with people or not? So while there are enough people out there who say this dilutes the creative process, for me, this has been really invigorating to share what is going on right now and to ask for feedback on topics I'm working on right now.
Force nothing.
It's another way of saying if you have to force it, it's probably shit. And there is a fine line between this and overcoming resistance, but that is for another day. Keep your surroundings clean and create a home for everything. This is a topic in itself as well, but having a nice, clean surrounding is probably the biggest thing you can do for your own productivity. Eat well, go for a walk, reward yourself on an activity. This is just to make myself not indulge on bad food, really, and to go outside more. The last 2 years weren't really conducive to a very healthy lifestyle, to be honest. And recently I added a quote that's attributed to Seinfeld: "Your reward is that you're done." And ooh, has this changed my outlook on things. This is so powerful. You don't need to get a fancy drink or a pastry or anything. That's what I like to treat myself with. You're done. That is the reward. Short list of things that I can do. Sometimes you don't feel like anything, and this is a good starting point. And then it kind of slides over into the question part of this vision journal. How can you trigger physical activity? Like I said, the last couple of years weren't really conducive to a healthy lifestyle, to a very active lifestyle. So I'm trying to find that rhythm again. Not going to share that. Picture your ideal day or your ideal week, depending on where you are. This can take many forms. Sometimes this is very specific about the day. Sometimes this is more general about what is my ideal day. But visualizing this is really, really powerful. And by the way, if you're a sucker for dot grid cards like I am, I got these from Bear and Fig. There's a link in the description. If you order them, we both get $10 off. Sounds like a win-win. If you don't, I don't care either way. Just wanted to let you know where I got them. And then, what is your priority? What is your one priority today? It is so important to know this for yourself, to define this for yourself. If you have done that, take a rest, hang out on the couch, indulge in something, go outside. What will get you started today? And most of the time I don't need this card, but sometimes you just need a little bit more prompting to get yourself going. These are a little bit personal cards, but in essence, they all say, what are you doing to make X better? And for me, that's relationships, money, health, all these things. And talking about money, a short list of how I create value, how I create wealth, not just for me, but for everybody. And they might not all be active at one time, but more often than not, they are. And adding these quality adjectives in there just makes you think about them in a different way, because words are tuning forks for your brain. I really believe in that. And every word in here is carefully chosen for that reason. I do this because. That is essentially a way of asking yourself, what is your why? But starting with this, your sentence already started. And I personally feel like I end up in a much more conversational thinking with myself rather than asking, what is your why? Then I have one answer to it. But I do this because it lets me move on a spiral where I go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Somebody asked me, why should anybody subscribe to your channel? And these next cards are a reflection of that. With that, we're pretty much in the weeds of YouTube and business and all the things I want to achieve professionally. Creative Ties is a channel about my journey to full-time creator or in the creator economy. And people watch it because there are aspiring creators themselves, or they're intensely curious about the creator economy. Cardboard Cleric is a family-friendly channel about D&D and crafting. And people watch it because they love D&D and they like to be inspired to make things. Repeating those lines mentally every day have really invigorated me to work on these projects and remind me why I'm working on them and for who. If you do anything that you want to connect with people, tell a story, make them feel something, and picture your ideal outcome. Again, this visualization part is so crucial because it might just be in your brain, but the more you think about it, the more often it actually happens. I want to improve a lot of things in my life. Your mission I'm not going to share the full answer on this with you, but think about your mission. Your mission is a very specific thing that you want to achieve. And a really big part for me is community, and not just the online community that I love, all of you, but a real place where people can get together and exchange ideas. I hope we all gonna see more of this soon. And then we get into kind of the boring, mundane things of my yearly theme. It's more of a to-do list, task list, and how it relates into the bigger picture of things. I like to draw things out. And with all of this going on, I have come to terms with myself that I am more than one thing. I am not just a cinematographer or a filmmaker. I am all of these things at the same time. Accepting this fact and playing into that has really allowed me to enjoy life a whole lot more. In summary, visualize, grow your relationships, get your heart rate up, create value for everyone, and do it out of joy. That is the essence for everything that I want to do. And with that, we're back to how do you feel? And pretty much every time when I read this a second time around, I feel a lot better than the first time. Now, I've been using this vision journal for the last couple of months, and has really enabled me to be more effective and remind myself of what is important. But now I want to hear from you. Would you try this? Are there some ways we can improve on this? And what are the things that you need reminders for? Get out of here. I got something way more interesting than a vision journal. So let me tell you about